Welcome you all to the recognition. Make sure your mic is on. Can't hear you.
Yeah. The other one's on mute.
Okay, sorry for the difficulties. My hi microphone isn't working, so we'll go back to the old loop here. Again, I'd like to welcome you to the regular January 27th board meeting. And please make a special note that this is International Holocaust Survival Day. And remember those 17 million folks who perished in World War II. For those who are in the room, please make note of the exits in the front and the back of the room. For those of you who cannot see us here, I'm going to make announcements of who's here electronically or in person. In person, Judy Boyke, Wayne Freeman, Tracy Kosselman, Gretchen Walter, and Elko Johans. Electronically, we have Mike Bacallo, Jonathan Karp, Nancy White, Steve Procopio, Steve Rotuno. I assume Robert Jermaine is going to be with us shortly. Chris Woznicka, Nicole Walsh, Kay Fiorello, Mike Maurizio, and Teresa Raw. So the clerk, please call the roll.
Here.
Counselor Cart.
Here.
Counselor White.
Here.
Counselor Bacallo.
Here.
Supervisor Meyer.
Here. Thank you. First item on the agenda, Ms. Walter, pledge your allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ask for a moment of silence.
Thank you. Nancy, item number 2, please.
Approval of abstracts. Resolved, the Cicero Town Board approves abstract number 2 dated January 13, 2021, and abstract number 3 dated January 20th, 2021.
Second, Counselor Bacallo.
Discussion on the abstracts. Hearing none, clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke.
Yes.
Counselor Cart.
Yes.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes. Item is adopted. Thank you. Number 3, community development grants for the Cicero Senior Center accessibility improvements. Whereas the application for a grant with Onondaga Community Development was approved for the senior center to implement improvements that will provide reimbursable funding in the amount not to exceed $33,000, which is 75% of the total estimated cost. Now therefore be resolved, the town board approves the agreement between the town of Cicero and Onondaga County and authorizes the supervisor to execute the agreement.
Second.
Second, Ms. Boyke, discussion?
Yeah. Bill, could you explain what this grant is actually for?
I I'm not the engineer. I'm familiar with the project. Teresa, are you there too?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, this is basically phase two of the project that we started last year. It's to do some ADA handicap accessibility improvements. We're adding a handicap access door to the side entrance of the building. They're redoing some flooring in the kitchen and restrooms, and also doing another portion of the sidewalk and widening the entrance road for the delivery to the back of the building.
Thank you, Teresa.
You're welcome.
Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Carr.
Aye.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes. Items adopted. Thank you. Judy, number 4.
Approve zoning board of appeals legal services retainer agreement with Kerwin Law Firm, PC. Resolved that the town board approves the zoning board of appeals retainer agreement with Kerwin Law Firm, PC for the period of January 1st, 2021 through December 31st, 2021 at an annual rate of $5,000 per annum to be paid in quarterly installments, and to authorize the supervisor to sign the agreement, budget code B80104.
Second.
Second. Ms. White, discussion? Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke.
Yes.
Counselor Carr.
Yes.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Mike, you have number 5.
Professional services for information technology at Town of Cicero Properties. Whereas WAFMCS has submitted a proposal and proposed a renewal contract for technology and consulting services calling for payment in the amount of $4,400 per month. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the proposed agreement between the Town of Cicero and WAFMCS is hereby approved, and the supervisor is authorized to execute the contract on behalf of the Town of Cicero. Budget code A168047.
Second.
Ms. White, question on number 5. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke.
Yes.
Counselor Carr.
Aye.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, items adopted. Thank you. Number 6, approve the municipal agreement with the town of Salina concerning the canteen. Whereas the town of Salina is a fiscal partner in funding the canteen program, now therefore be resolved to approve the 2021 municipal agreement between the town of Salina and the town of Cicero for funding the multi-municipal canteen program, and to authorize supervisor to execute the agreement. It's a revenue B2705, T as in Tom, 0S.
Second.
Second, Ms. Boyke, discussion on number 6. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke.
Yes.
Counselor Carr.
Yes.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Mike, number 7.
Approve property maintenance code violations contract 1-year extension. Whereas the town board approved the contract with AAA Quick Plows and Lawn in 2020 with 1- and 2-year contract extension options per the bid specifications. And whereas the town wishes to exercise the 1-year contract extension for 2021. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the town board approves the 2021 property maintenance code violations contract with AAA Quick Plows and Lawns. And be further resolved, the town board authorizes the amount of $18,000 to AAA Quick Plows and Lawn for 2021 property maintenance services related to code violations, and authorize the supervisor to execute all necessary documents. Budget code A86644.
Second.
Second, Nancy, discussion on number 7. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke.
Yes.
Counselor Carr.
Aye.
Counselor White.
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Jonathan, number 8.
Whereas the use of the Cicero Town Hall has been authorized for the dates of each election, including the general election and any primary or presidential election as appropriate. And whereas the dates for this lease shall be for elections held in 2021 through 2020 and 2025, excuse me. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the town board approves the use of the Cicero Town Hall to execute the polling place agreement and authorizes the supervisor to execute the agreement.
Second, Counselor Bicallo.
Discussion on number 8. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Blakey.
Yes.
Counselor Carp.
Yes.
Counselor White.
yes,
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes. Item is adopted. Thank you. Number 9, the board approves the hiring of Kyle A. Harrington as a full-time police officer effective February 14th, 2021, whereas the police department is in need of a full-time police officer and Mr. Harrington passed a thorough background investigation and was recommended for hire by the chief of police. Resolved that the town board approves the hiring of Kyle A. Harrington as a full-time Cicero police officer at a starting pay of $51,193 per year, effective February 14th, 2021, budget code B 3120.1.
Second.
Second, Ms. Boyke. Discussion on number 9.
Yes, February 14th, that's Valentine's Day, right?
Yeah. Remember that, Mike.
I think that's a message for all of us, Judy.
Well, seeing as he brought it up, he better remember. He got his red sweater on.
I was like, wow, what a day to start. Okay.
Okay, clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Blakey.
Yes.
Counselor Carp.
Aye.
Counselor White.
yes,
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Number 10, the board approves the hiring of Kevin Barradi.
Brady.
Berardi.
I apologize to the gentleman. As a part-time police officer effective February 14th, 2021, whereas the police department is in need of a part-time officer, and Mr. Berardi passed a thorough background investigation and was recommended for hire by the chief of police. Resolved, the town board approves the hiring of Kevin Berardi as a part-time Cicero police officer at a starting pay of $20.59 per hour, effective February 14th, 2021, budget code B 3120.1, and that's in a part-time code.
Second.
Second,
Looks like we're going to have a happy Valentine's Day.
yes, very good. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Blakey.
Yes.
Counselor Carp.
Aye.
Counselor White.
yes,
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Number 11, the board approves a $6,000 donation from Drivers Village for the Cicero Police Department for Officer Wellness Program. Whereas on January 22nd, 2021, Ken Elander from Drivers Village presented Chief Rotuno $6,000 donation for the new Cicero Police Department Officer Wellness Program. Now therefore be resolved that the town board approves the donation of a $6,000 for the police department's officer wellness program from Drivers Village. And that's budget code B 3120.60.
Second.
Second, Ms. Boyke. Discussion on number 11. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Blakey.
Yes.
Counselor Carter.
Yes.
Counselor White.
yes,
Counselor Bacallo.
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. The number 12, the town board approves the purchase of the Cordico customized police officer mental health and wellness app at a cost of $6,000. Whereas part of the Governor Cuomo's executive order 203, police reform and reinvention collaborative, the Cicero Police Department has instituted an officer wellness program and has a need for a police officer mental health and wellness program. Now therefore be resolved that the town board approves the purchase of the Cordico officer wellness app at a cost of $6,000, budget code B 3120.60.
Second.
Discussion on number 12.
Obviously, there's another mandate. We were lucky enough to get a donation. And hopefully any other mandates that come down, we might get donations for those as well.
That'd be great. I got to tell you personally, I'm very appreciative of all the merchants in the town have been very cooperative on many initiatives, and I greatly appreciate this one from Drivers Village. Clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Blakey,
Yes.
Counselor Carp,
Aye.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. I'm going to go a little bit out of order. I have number 13 on for discussion. I know Mrs. Boyke wanted to speak to that. And then we had I got an emergency call from the mayor of North Syracuse today, and I'll be introducing some items for that. But please, we'll first hear from Mrs. Boyke on number 13.
Thank you. In the our daily life in the town of Cicero, we are coming upon having different solar fields and farms and various uses of our town, which is brought to several of our attention that we need to look at the comprehensive plan. With that said, I would like to set up a master plan advisory committee. And this committee would be local citizens, including a planning board member, and also in reference with Steve Procopio, our codes officer, and the planning board, Mark Marzullo, and probably Stanton from the Zoning Board of Appeals that we would probably use in reference. It's become quite prevalent that we need to look at our land use and our environment and our zoning in order to be prepared while we're in this moratorium, particularly for the solar farms, so that we have a plan in place and are able to properly place all of these new energy type of situations that are coming into the town. So I would ask the opportunity for me to set up this master plan advisory committee. And also I will try to put it all together so that we have members or residents who have shown an opportunity to join. But obviously it's necessary to have some type of background in land use or environmental or something of that effect. Ask for comments from my fellow board members.
I think Judy has touched a number of very valuable and important points. I know a number of months ago I tried to go through the previous comprehensive plan just to see who's out there, and my understanding is that company doesn't exist anymore. So there are very few companies that do this. So I think to come up with some kind of specifications and plan ahead of time would be valuable, so we're not just looking for something but we don't know what we're looking for. So
I think cost preventive as well, because by doing what I've always called is the legwork, to put everything in place that we're looking for, and then obviously we would need some type of legal or authorized person to put the plan together. But I think it's a very worthy thing to go ahead with. Besides these, I'm believing these folks have knowing the properties and knowing Cicero and having an opportunity to understand what our community is about.
Comments from the board members?
Not at this
You're going to
time.
come back next meeting with a
Yes,
proof or something?
I'll try to have at least a list of those who have shown an interest.
Okay, thank you.
Judy, I would be very glad to be a part of that.
Okay, I'd be happy to include you in it, but yes, I was just thinking of two board members. That was just my thought. Thank you, Nancy.
Mhm.
Okay,
I'll
next
piggyback
item.
I'll piggyback off of Nancy. It'd be nice if there was gonna be multiple meetings, if we somehow could find a way to, a different board member, of course you, Judy, because you're heading it up, but like maybe one meeting Nancy could go to, one meeting John, one meeting myself. If the board,
That-
and then with Bill as well, if that was acceptable.
That's a good idea, Mike. In the beginning, obviously, the advisory committee itself would try to put together something. And then when there's some substance to it, then yes, that would be a good idea. I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
The board members have expressed over the last few years some very pronounced comments and suggestions on traffic, in particular on 31 and 11. And I know a bunch of you have had questions on all the surveying stakes along Route 31. And Kate is prepared to give us a couple of update comments on that. And then I have some additional information on Route 11. So Kate, would you like to brief the board briefly on that?
Sure. The good news is that there were people out surveying. The DOT is planning on 2 projects going into design this summer and for construction 2022. That would be Route 31 improvements from CNS High School to the Thompson Road intersection, and also improvements at the Thompson Road 31 intersection and the South Bay Road 31 intersection. They are hoping to have a public meeting in the spring or summer to get public input. There is a place, if people are interested, you can go on the DOT website and search by our town. And it'll show you the different projects that are there, and there's a place for public input there as well. But I think it's exciting that it sounds like in 2 years we'll have improvements there.
Thank you. If the board members remember earlier in 2020, I had the folks from SMTC come, and they did a briefing for the planning board and then for the town board on the study that they did on Route 11 that came up with a number of interesting statistics. First of all, the amount of traffic that was actually coming down Codnoy Road from town of Clay that was coming our way, and also the traffic on 31, which was coming our way. So I'm happy to tell you that I'm hoping to continue that conversation with SMTC. And so that all those great comments we had at those 2 meetings, we can put together and have SMTC do some additional work. And again, not out of our budget, which is great news. And so hopefully I'll be back to you soon with some good news, and hopefully we can continue that good relationship with SMTC. I mentioned earlier that I got a call from the mayor of North Syracuse. Mayor Butterfield called me with a request for help. During these COVID times, one thing that is very much on our mind is that we keep our people safe and keep the residents safe. And one of those major components, especially during the wintertime, snowplows. Unfortunately, the folks in North Syracuse have some COVID issues. Obviously, I can't get into the details, but just let it be said that I got on the phone with our highway superintendent, and we're going to be making a major effort to work with the Village of North Syracuse on their public safety snow removal and other areas. And also the supervisor of the town of Clay is also pitched in, and he and their forces over in the town of Clay will be working with the mayor. So that being said, our town attorney, Mr. Jermaine, put together a couple of resolutions to formalize the agreement. I gave the mayor and the highway superintendent a verbal approval, but I wanted to make sure the board was involved. So I have 2 intermunicipal agreement resolutions. The first one is move the adoption of a resolution approving an intermunicipal agreement between the town of Cisco Highway Department and the Village of North Syracuse to provide temporary highway department services to the village. The purpose of this agreement is to provide the village with assistance due to a COVID-19 outbreak, severely limiting the ability of the village to maintain necessary highway services on a temporary basis. The board members have been provided with a draft agreement, And this resolution authorizes the supervisor to execute the agreement and any other necessary documents to accomplish this task. I'm sure all of us do not want to have any discussion that we do not want to be supporting 100% our constituents in the town of, in the town of Cicero and the village. And we made a general understanding we're not going to be counting one side of the road or the other side of the road, whether it's in Clay or if it's in Cicero. We're going to make this thing happen to protect the residents of the village. So with that, I open to any discussions, and I need a second.
I'll second it.
Second, Mr. Carp, discussion on the intermunicipal agreement. Clerk will call the
More than
roll.
happy to help.
Oh, what was that?
Right. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carp,
Aye.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Wow,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Now, I'm sure you all know that Mr. Jermaine also does work with the town of Clay. So I have a next resolution, conflict waiver agreement. Move the adoption of a resolution approving an intermunicipal agreement between the town of Cicero Highway Department and the village of North Syracuse to provide temporary highway department services to the village. The purpose of this agreement is to provide the village with assistance due to a COVID-19 outbreak severely limiting the ability of the village to maintain necessary highway services on a temporary basis. This resolution also approves and authorizes execution of a conflict waiver letter for Jermaine & Jermaine LLP. The board members have been provided with a draft of the proposed agreement and waiver letter. And this resolution authorizes the supervisor to execute the agreement and any other necessary documents to accomplish this task.
I'll second.
Second. Oh, Nancy did.
Nancy, second. Discussion on the conflict waiver agreement. Clerk will call the roll.
Counselor Boyke,
Yes.
Counselor Carp,
Yes.
Counselor White,
Yes.
Counselor Bacallo,
Aye.
Supervisor Meyer.
Yes, item is adopted. Thank you. Any other regular agenda items? If not, I'll get into the public comment period. I have one item that I've had a number of items over the last few days on some items that are going to be coming up for the next meeting, but there was one that was, I assume, pertinent to this meeting and others. It's from Joyce Villeneuve. As part of public input, I'd like to ask whether it's proper to post an amended agenda after the original has been posted without noting it as amended. And second, also, why does this board not post pertinent documents for public hearings in the attachment section of the website? I assume we're talking about some of the items that are set for public hearing. I think we're trying to do that. Obviously, when the agenda is changing literally by the hour on days like today, I'm sure we're going to have some of the items go between the cracks. I offer the input of Ms. Villeneuve. If she has any suggestions on how I can do a better job on the agenda, I greatly encourage her to give me a call. We'll try to do a better job.
Bill, if I could add to that, I had a talk with Gabby when our agenda came out, and I asked her if she could, at the top of it, say, whether it be agenda 1, agenda 2, and then when it was a final, she said that that would be easy enough to do. And she also said that she would highlight the agendas that were posted, because it makes it a lot easier for us board members, obviously, to not have to read through each time, and we would know what the changes were. So maybe that will help as well.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, actually, because I'm a typical male in that regard. I'm visually oriented and color oriented. She is color coding it for me to make
There
it
you
a little
go.
easier.
Well, then
So I'm very sensitive to that, so I appreciate your suggestion. Okay.
as far as adding the documents, I think we were a little remiss. We have been over the course of time where all the documents were pulled off of our website. Possibly we could start looking into making sure that these documents are available obviously for a public hearing, because it would be a lot easier for these folks that are, wish to address the public hearings to have the full document in front of them. I think that's a good idea as well.
If you think we're missing any documents, any of the board members, if you think there's items that are pertinent or you feel are pertinent, please let me know and we'll do what we can to get them on. Thank you. Any other items, board members?
I just want to say thank you to you guys for moving so quickly to help out the village today. And when it all came up suddenly and for you to pull all that together, it was great. And thanks to Chris and his guys for willing to help out.
Yeah, Robert said I kept him pretty busy today. Thank you very much. Okay, hearing no additional items, I'll move to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Second, I'll call for a voice vote. All in favor?
Aye.